Looks like we got ourselves an old-fashioned car chase.
Sunshine, lollipops, and
Rainbows, everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Brighter than a lucky.
Akira. He's got clout.
Akira the Don is a British musician, DJ, and producer. He's worked in genres as diverse as pop, hip-hop, indie, dance, and more recently, perhaps, something that has come to be known as meaning wave.
I cut the speech up with the beat, added some crackling vinyl. The older I get, the more I know just how little I know. Most men live in one bad day away from being a wino. Many sing along, but how many can hit the high notes? But for the grace of God go Ido. Hello, hi, pretty fly for someone from such a place as I. You might not walk, but you might fly, because we live in such a time. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm alive, been a peak of recorded human history. Hear them shout. Akira. He's got clout. I spoke that shit into existence. Perseverance plus persistence. Don't need motivation, we've got meaning. Discipline equals freedom, it's that. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. I took the speech, got that shit to the beat, it was sweet and that's how I made meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave.
A combination of metered spoken word and music chosen for its emotional and conceptual appropriateness from some of my sayings and my talks. Akira has also produced similar works featuring Ellen Watts, Jocko Willink, Terence McKenna, David Foster Wallace, and Elon Musk, among others. So, welcome, Akira. It's nice to talk to you. What are you up to?
Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. I took the speech, got that shit to the beat, it was sweet and that's how I made meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. I took the speech, got that shit to the beat, it was sweet and that's how I made meaning wave. Meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave, meaning wave. I'm engaged in an experiment in ridiculous hyperproductivity and the zone inhabitation. My idea being remaining in the zone of making music so the music flows and becomes better and better and better, and my whole process becomes more efficient and powerful with each thing.
Akira.
He's got clout. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by me.
think of present events as being caused by past events. And therefore, we tend to regard ourselves as the puppets of the past, as driven along by something that is always behind us. Now, to overcome this impression, it's very simple. You begin again with an experiment. Approach the world through your ears. If you shut your eyes and make contact with reality purely with your ears, and you will realize that the sounds you are hearing are all coming out of silence. You hear, and it fades away. Fades, 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 and finally disappears. It's a curious world, this, isn't it? Because you hear all the realities in it. The sounds, suddenly coming out of nothing. You don't see any reason for them to begin. They just appear, and then they echo away through the corridors of the mind, which we call memory. Now, if you open your eyes, it's a little harder to see this with your eyes because, unlike sounds, the eyes sound static. Or rather, they look static. Everything looks still to your eyes. But you must understand, the world you are looking at, say when you look at a light, that light is vibrating. All material things are vibrations, and they are vibrating at you now in the same way as the sound is vibrating on your ears. In other words, the present world that you see is a vibration coming just as the sound comes out of silence. The light is coming out of space. It's coming out of nothing straight at you now and echoing away into the past. So the course of time is really very much like the course of a ship in the ocean. Because here's the ship, you see, and it leaves behind it a wake. And the wake fades out, and that tells us where the ship has been, in just the same way as the past and our memory of the past tells us what we have done. But as we go back into the past, and we go back and back to prehistory, and we use all kinds of instruments and scientific methods for detecting what happened, we eventually reach a point where all record of the past fades away in just the same way as the wake of the ship. Now, the important thing to remember in this illustration is that the wake doesn't drive the ship any more than the tail wags the dog.
sadness becomes so great. I hear it in my clock. It becomes knobs upon my dresser. It becomes paper on the floor. It becomes a shoehorn, a laundry ticket. It becomes cigarette smoke climbing a chapel of dark vines. It matters little. Very little love is not so bad, or very little life. What counts is waiting on the wall. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. The dead. Into this, as the chalk faces smile, as Mrs. Death laughs, as political landscapes dissolve, as the oily fish spit out their oily prey. We are born like this, into hospitals which are so expensive that it's cheaper to die. Into lawyers who charge so much, it's cheaper to plead guilty. Into a country where the jails are full and the madhouses closed. Into a place where the masses elevate fools into rich heroes. Born into this, walking and living through this, dying because of this. Castrated, debauched, disinherited because of this. The fingers reach toward an unresponsive God. The fingers reach for the bottle, the pill, the powder. We are born into this sorrowful deadliness. There will be open and unpunished murder in the streets. It will be guns and roving mobs. Land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return. Nuclear power will be taken over by the many. Explosions will continually shake the earth. Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. The rotting bodies of men and animals will stink in the dark wind. And there will be the most beautiful silence never heard. Born out of that, the sun hidden there, awaiting the next chapter.
beginning of another great day. A sunny summer day. It's the best day for you know what. I'm going to read you a quote from Norm Macdonald. And he says this: the idiot sees the world as good versus evil. The cynic sees the world as evil versus evil. The truth that no one seems to be able to see is that the world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Wow. This is actually really profound. This is the situation we find ourselves in. There are not two sides in which one is good and one is evil. There are two sides in which one feels that it is good and it believes, incorrectly, that the other one is evil. But both sides are pretty sure that their version of the world is the good one. Wow. The world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good. Versus good.
Don't I know it?
Wow. 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 Wow.
The reason why I got everything's a scam in a neon sign in my apartment is because I think that's the most optimistic message you can think of every day. So I wanted to remind myself of that every morning when I woke up.
And the reason why I think it's optimistic is that you see all these different problems, right? All these things in the world. And you're like, well, I don't understand that thing. Like, I don't understand.
In my case,
Longevity research and science and hard work. I don't understand any of these things in a deeply technical way. I want to affect them. A lot of the reasons why people don't go into different fields is they think, well, there's this kind of expert status around this field, which means I can't ever infiltrate it. And the thing that I want to remember every day is that expertise is a scam.
Expertise is a scam.
It's like a power hierarchy that's been created within an industry to prevent other people from being able to go and get into it. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right? But if you realize that, then you can do anything. Why I think remembering everything is a scam is important is that it boosts your self-efficacy to remind yourself that if everything's a scam, then if you have high integrity and you want to go solve a problem, it's probably the case that it'll take you pretty far.
Take you pretty far. Take you pretty far.
More far than trying to play the traditional game, which is a scam. So, to me, everything is a scam is not a negative thing. It's a reminder to just play the game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right? But if you realize that, then you can do anything.
Any game you want to play, just go play it. Any game you want to play, just go play it. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. Any game you want to play, just go play it. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. You know?
Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right? But if you realize that, then you can do anything.
And you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do anything.
Human beings are entirely creatures of habit. Young children are born with no habit loops. They're essentially born as blank slates. And then they habituate themselves to things and they learn patterns and they get conditioned and they use that to get through everyday life. And habits are good. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits can allow you to background process certain things. So habits are good so that your frontal lobe stays available to solve brand new problems. So unconsciously pick up habits in the background and we keep them for decades and we may not realize that they're bad for us. So we're ready to move on from them. To some extent, you know, our attitude in life, our mood, our happiness levels, depression levels, these are also habits. Do we judge people? Habits. How often do we eat? What kinds of food do we eat? Habits. Do we walk or do we sit? Do we move? Do we exercise? Habits. Do we read? Do we read? Do we read? These are habits as well. You absolutely need habits to function. You cannot solve every problem in life as if it's the first time it's thrown at you. What we do is we accumulate all these habits, we put them in the bundle of identity, ego, ourselves, and then we get attached to that. I'm Shane, this is the way I am. I'm Deval, this is the way I am. It's really important to be able to uncondition yourself, to be able to take your habits apart and say, oh, okay, well that's a habit that I probably picked up from when I was a toddler and I was trying to get my parents' attention. And now I've just reinforced it and reinforced it and reinforced it and I call it part of my identity. But is it serving me anymore? Is it making me happier? Is it making me healthier? Is it making me accomplish whatever I want to set out to accomplish right now? And so I think you can uncondition yourself. You can untrain yourself. It's just hard. It takes work. It takes effort. And usually the big habit changes come when there's strong desire motivators attached to them. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits are good.
Akira.
He's got clout. Let's welcome to the stage Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk.
All right, let's go. Let's sit down. Let's do this. I wish we had better perspective. I wish that there was some weird genie that could take us back into time so so that every one of you could live one fucking day in your great-great-grandparents' shoes and understand how fucking good you have it. Like if you really, really understood I'm not naive to what's happening in our society. Let me just say this very clear so everybody gets it through their fucking dome. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. This is the best. This is the best. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. Fascinated by this. Fascinated by fucking mindset. It's a binary decision if you're gonna be positive or negative about shit. When you bet on optimism, when you're on the offense, when you are playing towards intangibles, you do something super duper interesting. You start suffocating excuses. If you asked me what the number one thing is that I'm thankful for that my parents gave me, taking me from a communist country and moving me to the US, parenting me well, roof and clothes, if you ask me the number one thing I wake up every morning and thank that my parents did, is I never saw either one of them complain about jack shit. And it basically created learned behavior for me. I am incapable of actually complaining about shit. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. This is the best. This is the best. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. This is the best. We have it the best. And all I see is people sitting around dwelling around dumb shit, what they don't have, instead of focusing on what they do have. The internet is a fucking miracle. It's a fucking miracle. The internet is a fucking miracle. It's a fucking miracle. There was no side hustle for your great-grandparents. When it was 9 p.m., it was dark and cold outside. We just get used to shit so fast. And in our speed of getting used to how fucking awesome it is,